Describable 1981 once again. You know something I noticed? I noticed that when you have people that lives off their ego, they tend to live in a way where if one ego doesn't break or crack like Humpty Dumpty, then both egos continue to stay hardcore, and it'll just be a life where nothing really getting done because egos are in the way. This is what I mean. A lot of people know me as a person where if we exchange phone numbers and we good friends getting to know each other, partners or cousins or family members or relatives, I have relatives that take the initiative to call me. I know one of them I have like that is my auntie Emma. She takes the initiative to call family, even when she calls and you know you may have an attitude or you may not feel like talking. She's the type of auntie she's gonna call because it's only natural and it's only right for her to call and check on relatives and family members, not out of nagging them, but just to hear their voice and make sure they all right. Because some people suffer in silence and they never call you and say nothing. Then you take the initiative and call, then they open up because they really probably had a lot of pride or, like I say, that ego in the way where they just couldn't do it. Now, if it's a weakness and they can acknowledge that, then that's fine and dandy, you know. But now if you expect two people that got egos to chase behind each other on the phone and call each other, a lot of times that don't happen. Now, if you got a person that got a loving heart and then you got the other person that got an ego, the one that has a loving heart gonna call first because they just naturally have love in their heart. The one who got an ego or feel too much pride or have an issue with self-esteem because maybe they don't have a lot of love like that and the ego is in the way, and they'll end up never calling you. Almost like they know that you're so loving that you'll be loving enough to chase them. But most of them don't know. Pause. Because a lot of people with egos, they know that a person with a loving heart gonna call first. A person with a loving heart gonna check on another person first. They gonna try to run behind another person because the love that they have in their heart and the person that they are. And I have a lot of people, they know me to be that type of person. But now when you have love with wisdom and discernment to see through situations, now your love is still unconditional, but selective. Selective. Because if you got two egos, and I ain't calling them because they want me to chase them. I ain't calling them neither. I bet they want a nigga to chase them. They want me to chase them. You feel me? You got egos constantly battle like that, and then they never call each other. Both of them suffering, both of them hurting. Both of them probably really need help, or one of them may need more help than the other. And then the one that need more help than the other, they'll end up like really not trying to call at all and suffer it out. Almost like they punishing themselves until the one that's too weak to wait for too long for the other one to call will end up calling. I done been in a lot of these situations, and I must say, all you're doing is just defeating your ego. You defeat yourself when you do that, living out your ego. Now, when you got two loving people, one person will call, and next thing you know, another person will call. It don't matter who called first when two people got love in their heart. It don't matter who called first. Anyone that got love in their heart, they'll call each other first. And if one not doing something at the moment and they may not feel like talking, they'll be loving enough to tell the truth and let it be known. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of situations right now where we still got a lot of egos in this world, where people feel like they entitled for things to happen their way, the way that they want to when they get ready. And then you have a lot of people, their ego goes so far as to the point where even if they know that the other person is not going to call, but the other person may be a little weaker, sometimes they may be stronger. Depends. But if they know the other person is a little weaker, they'll try to do witchcraft and voodoo spells and stuff like that to force another person to call, keeping them up at night so that they can call. They do these spells behind the scenes and stuff, and a lot of that don't work all the time. Because sometimes you might have an ego and you may be sending something somebody's way, like a magic spell or something for them to call you, and then it ends up they never call. So now your ego done gone so far to use witchcraft and black magic and stuff. Your ego getting kicked in the head and beat all up like Humpty Dumpty, busted all up because you living out your ego, doing witchcraft, forcing the bitch to call through witchcraft, through spiritual powers, they still don't call. So now that's a defeat to your ego. That's a defeat to your self-esteem. And the person on the other end still never gets your call. And the person on the other end don't give a fuck, and it don't really matter to them because they didn't receive it when you casted the spell. Why? They have more love and more going on in their life than some little bitty ego trying to use spiritual power, which is abuse in the spiritual realm, the greatest law that could be broken, trying to use spiritual power to force a person to call you and do something that your ego don't want you to do because you in your ego. So understand, two egos is like two bricks, and they bust up against each other, they end up breaking each other into pieces. Just like Humpty Dumpty, and can't be repaired no more. Once that ego broken or that heart broken and it can't be repaired no more, that's it. Yet when the heart is broken, it's pretty much in a vulnerable state where it can be repaired, but it'll be repaired through its vulnerability. You know what I mean? The only way to get into a hot car when all the windows is up and you lock your keys in, is to bust a hole in it, so air can come in and so you can get in and get your keys. Other than that, you keep everything locked up in your heart and you stay locked up with the ego, nothing will never crack. So y'all keep doing what y'all doing. I'm going to keep coming with these videos as long as Holy Spirit use me and guide me, because Holy Spirit is on earth right now, and all of us receiving some type of insight and downloads and uploads all across the whole entire planet. And Elohim is real. So is the unseen.